Hello and welcome to the Special Moves Podcast, Episode 5. My name is Mike Williams, and these buffoons are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hello.
He sounded like Mr. Burns.
I'm so sorry. I don't know where that came from, really. It was unfair.
Yeah, episode 6, we're going to be just like henchmen. So, yeah.
Goons hired goons. Yeah,
this is the first podcast on Spotify, so nice to set the precedent early.
Congratulations, Spotify listeners. I'm very happy for you.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
it's cool. We're recording this as a special occasion in another new location. This time it's my house in my front room. So if you hear the sounds of any babies or dogs, it's okay. I have a baby and a dog. Nothing
that explains
nothing
that mystery.
untoward happening there. Speaking of places people listen to us, the number one place people listen to us? At work. People get paid.
Oh yeah, we
to
kind
us.
of ran a
I
little
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Poll.
ran a little survey, very, very unscientifically last week when we
And
literally said
work
where
was the big one.
Yeah. A lot of people listening to this podcast at work, a lot of people driving, a few people saying at the gym, like surprising amount
Yeah,
of people.
because we were saying it as a joke, but people are listening to us as a workout.
Motivational, on it.
And if that is the case, 5 more reps, mate. You've got it in
Yeah,
you.
you can do it. Push it, feel the burn, deep burn, etc.
Yeah.
We've been at EGX
We
the
certainly
last
have,
few
yeah.
days, and that is what this podcast is going to be about. This is an EGX special. EGX is one of, if not the UK's biggest gaming convention.
It's the biggest gaming convention in terms of developers and stuff.
Yeah.
There's Insomnia, but that's just like a competitive thing, I think.
Yeah.
But this is the one with the most games. There's like 256. 256 games is
The Eurogamer Games Expo.
for all the games and needs, isn't
all
it?
the biggest games is. So we did get through a lot of games actually. There was
the biggest games.
All the biggest games is. There was a lot of AAA stuff there, and there was a whole Rezzed section, which is the EGX kind of indie subcategory, I guess. And there's a whole event dedicated to just Rezzed once a year as well. But they have a Rezzed section at EGX. So we did get a chance to play a ton of games, speak to a lot of developers, and generally have a very nice time. So that's what we're going to do this podcast. We're going to try and run through all these games and try and give you our rundown and impressions on what we played and how things are shaping up. I've got to say, I didn't experience any massive disappointments or anything like that. There wasn't anything that I played that I was like, oh, this is really bad or anything. I was generally positive with almost everything I got my hands on, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
I'd say so, yeah.
And I'm not a very positive person, so that's quite unusual.
No, it was nice, yeah.
It was good, wasn't it? But we had a very nice time there. So let's get into the business. This is what it's been about. This is why we went.
Yeah.
For example,
to tell you guys all about this.
Yeah, to tell you guys about what we thought of the Division 2, for example.
Oh, okay. That's a great start because that's actually my favourite AAA game I played there out of all of them. Because the thing is, EGX, there's a lot of queuing and there's about 3-hour queues for Ubisoft games. So anyway, the Division was the first one, and for some people, they'd have to spend 3 or 4 hours queuing for these. So think about that when we talk about every single one of these games. Yeah. And I would say this would be worth the wait if we were to have queued.
Especially if you were with a couple of mates, because what we actually got to play was a co-op demo, which was really cool. And there was 4 of us playing it, so the 3 of us went, and we were joined by
Kale and Dan. Yeah. So we're going to mention these probably a bit. So let's just get this off. Kale is our friend who's a streamer.
Yeah, our friend, your close friend for a long time, friend of the channel.
Yeah, known a guy for about 16 years. So
streams Monster Hunter mainly.
Streams Monster Hunter, that's it. Yeah, exactly. And Capcom's official number one streamer, the best in the world. They've even written a song about him being the best. And also my brother Dan came with us. So for quick little legend for the when we refer to them, it's Kale and Dan. So that's who they are.
So Kale played this with us, and us 3 played it as well. And so there was 4 of us, and that added a lot to the experience straight away. As a huge fan of the Division 1. First thing I noticed was the level of detail is exactly on par with what I would hope for. That's like my number one thing that I loved about the Division was just the amount of detail and literal litter and things like that was strewn around New York. They've gone for exactly that approach with this one, except with a lot more kind of greenery and weeds and overgrowth and stuff everywhere, which I thought was great and a nice change.
Well, as a huge fan of the Division's E3 trailer, I played I played the Division's beta, and I was a bit like, oh, this is it. And I don't know, I ended up not buying it against my own judgment. Because I think that I probably would have enjoyed it if I actually played more of it. Yeah. I played the beta to the first Division now lots. And obviously New York is like one of the main characters of the whole thing, and they couldn't have redone that. It would have been probably a little bit...
You know, I was kind of hoping that they would just move somewhere else. If it was in Brooklyn or something like that.
Yeah, they could have moved to another island.
A different borough.
I was into it, you know. I was so into the way they'd done Manhattan.
It was cool.
Yeah, and it was like this. The scale is really important.
Right.
So you get this one-to-one. You know, if this is how big a human is, this is how big a building has to be. And they were trying to shoot for that one-to-one scale, and it really worked.
So I guess Ubisoft get quite a lot of criticism in general for kind of copy and pasting and things like that, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why they ended up changing the location. I can't remember where it is now. Is it Seattle or something?
Washington
DC.
Oh, right, yeah, they're all the same to me. It was a really fun bit of game.
Was that location?
That was me excusing my own ignorance. It was just ignorance. But yeah, I don't know the location. I don't know how true to the actual place of Washington that it was.
Yeah,
because it was we had a mission. It was a co-op mission, and from what I remember, we ended up storming the building, and we had this fight by
you sort of go through a shopping centre and then come out in a big car park type place.
But didn't it have a broken plane?
It had a shot down plane in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a bit of a normal shopping centre, but then you go out into this giant courtyard, and it's one of those games that could easily devolve into shooting gallery, and be really boring, or it could do that Destiny thing of being a shooting gallery, but the core mechanic is so fun that you enjoy it. The class-based system's what got me, because we were playing, so me and Kale both were playing the same class, and you guys had your own things. I think, Mike, you were demolition or something.
I was sharpshooter or something.
Yeah, okay, it was me and you playing as the same thing, I think. But that class system, and the co-op, and the fact that it's got this nice mechanic means, to me, I'm thinking this could be a really good game.
Yeah.
To play co-op. I'm going to get it, I think.
Yeah, it's a big co-op experience. That is what sold me on it. I mean, I was probably going to be getting it anyway because I was such a big fan of the First Division. But what impressed me so much about the demo was just how good it was as a co-op experience. We three are big, we do a bit of co-op gameplay, don't we? So it really that PvE thing definitely works. I'm really excited about the class system type thing, or at least the loadout, the way that you've got. I was completely kitted out differently to how so the sharpshooters were sitting back. I had quite close range assault rifle, grenade launcher type stuff, so I had to be quite up close to them. But the way the bosses work, and for example, there's a couple of bosses that drop in the demo that we played, and you have to get around them. You have to kind of scurry around them. So you guys are hammering them with sniper shots and stuff, keeping them pinned. Then I had to scurry around them and unload a grenade into their back. That's the only, because they had a tank on their back.
That's it. They had this weak spot thing.
Exactly.
Literally glowing red or whatever.
Yeah.
All in all, for a AAA game, it's exactly the epitome of AAA. It's online co-op. Games as a service,
very of the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, RPG elements, but you know what? Considering all those things means it shouldn't stand out. For some reason, out of all the games I played, that was one of the highlights. Strong highlights as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this, and I didn't think I'd be saying that at the end of this.
It was, I think it was the first game we played, actually, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, we figured that there'd be loads of queues, so we just go straight to the
biggest, juiciest.
That's it,
stuff in it. So what did you think of it, Liam? What was your?
I quite liked it. I finished the First Division not too long ago, actually, when it came on Game Pass on Xbox, and I got a bit annoyed towards the end, the spongy enemies and everything. Yeah. But that didn't seem to be a thing with Division 2, which was good.
I'm so glad you brought that up, actually, because I forgot about that. But that was actually a big change for me as well. It did. I don't know, the thing with the type of game it is, you can change it with the stats and stuff, so they could have given us really high-powered weapons that brought them down quickly. But it didn't feel like that they were sucking up all this ammunition like it really did in the first one, and they've improved it in the first one as well. So because at launch it was awful, you were just pouring bullets into these guys who were just thematically it made no sense because they were just wearing t-shirts or hoodies, isn't it? And they were just taking loads of damage. In Destiny, they're giant aliens, so you don't think about it. Yeah. Because they're giant aliens, so
they can just explain it away with the lore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, shields and power on them.
Exactly. But these are just meant to be guys just kind of running around.
A bit off their head and that, a bit mad. And then they got guns. But one, they were a bit more kitted out as well.
Yeah.
But which could have been an excuse, but No, if you're shooting them in the head, they were going down. You know, and
it felt appropriate, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like they just read a couple of things that people were saying was a problem with the first one and built on it like any good sequel should.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's all it takes to make an impressive sequel. When you've got a good idea that might have been a bit shoddily executed, just do a bit of that. The Division 2 was decent. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm definitely ready for it. And then we'll stick with Ubisoft, I guess, because that was the next thing we played. We went straight on to Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Assassin's Creed Odyssey demo.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of nice things to say about this.
Okay,
so I'll let you guys talk.
Let's talk about what happened in the demo first of all. And so you get given a situation where you load in and then you have to speak to somebody. And there's a big battle. So I think the E3 presentation showed off this same battle.
Yeah.
About 100 odd men on a beach having a big fight. And you've got these I don't want to say Dynasty Warriors, but you've got all these random mobs, and then you've got these hero characters that and then the camera zoom has a cinematic zoom, a bit like a Shadow of Mordor's Orc system, where it's mobs, mobs, and it zooms in.
But with none of the personality.
No, they were just Greek men that have gold armor, and they could have been from any crockery set from any Disney Hercules pot. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm on about? Yeah.
Yeah. If you've ever been on holiday in Greece, there's tourist shops that sell these models of these things.
Yeah, or Disney.
Which Hercules, that's I don't know why I even went into it. The problem isn't that they're Greek. The problem isn't that they weren't they're Greek warriors. It's just that
they're just so.
It's just another one.
They were so coloured in. Any name as long as it ends in ILLES. And boom. And I think so you have to fight a hero and then survive a certain amount of time, and then it prompted you with the enemy chieftain or whatever.
The big boss.
That's it. So you kill him and then it's nothing ever happened. The camera fades to black and then it's you're back to that bit, and it's oh, okay, thanks for doing that for me. And then it was I had a couple of minutes to do a free roam, so I stole a boat, did a quick circumference of the island, and then I invaded an enemy fortress, which is exactly exactly like Far Cry Bandit Camp, exactly like it.
Yeah.
To the point where, Far Cry Primal, you can get an owl, or any Ubisoft game where you can get a drone, Wildlands. It's exactly like that. Send your little eagle up, spot them, go in there, you kill 2 of them stealthily, then magically they'll know where you are, and then you kill the 2 chieftains or whatever, and then boom, you've got the bandit camp.
Yeah.
It was pure Ubification of the flipping of Assassin's Creed. That's the most I've seen it and gone, fuck, that is Far Cry Primal or whatever.
This is basically exactly how I feel about it. What you've just said there, but I don't know if I'm not really an authority on it anymore because I've got no love for it at all anymore. So I can't really talk about it that would be relevant to people who are interested in it because I am not interested in it. But I've if it's any use to you, that is how I felt about it completely. Exactly what Jake was just saying there. It just feels like the same thing again, even though I feel like a lot of people like the combat, the way they changed the combat for Origins, which was the last Assassin's Creed, obviously.
Yep.
And they changed the game drastically for that. It's a very different experience to when it was, from the blueprint that they put out with Assassin's Creed 2. It's completely different. It's an RPG now, but the combat takes place on the shoulder buttons, kind of like Dark Souls and stuff. But it just doesn't work for me. I'm just not. I don't like the combat at all, and it doesn't work for me. The performance was the one big thing I noticed with the performance was during the big beach battle thing that we got to play.
Yeah,
it was really coming down to a crawl a lot.
Yeah.
Did you notice that, Liam?
I did, yeah. The frame rate was it felt like it was hitting 15 frames at a time.
It was choppy, wasn't it?
You
It
get
was
very poses.
I didn't get any
got
T
2
poses.
T-poses when I killed somebody. Where, for those that don't know, it's just the default pose, someone standing, feet shoulder width apart, arms outstretched.
Character model.
Character model default screen sort of thing. And that happened twice. And there's I don't know if this is new for Origins, but there was for Odyssey, but there was a special bar at the bottom. You hold the left trigger and then you press these buttons. So one of them breaks shields, one of them is it makes your sword glow.
Yeah, it gives an attack buff or whatever.
Yeah, and whenever that was happening, that was really messing with my game. So.
Nicely animated stuff. I mean, if you've ever seen an ancient history epic from the year 2000 onwards, if you've seen Troy or Alexander or
all the ones that were ripping off the Gladiator vibe,
yeah, exactly. It's got all them kind of slick looking moves, like the flying stab is one that they do a lot of the time. You
Yeah.
kind of the leaping Spartan stab.
That's it.
That's in there, and the big Spartan kick, which I quite like. You
Oh,
can
that
just
is
boot
this is
them.
Sparta kick.
This is
That was a
Sparta.
literal like special move in the game.
Full on.
Yeah,
special
and
move,
that's pretty nice. But that's otherwise, if you like Assassin's Creed and you're ready for another Assassin's Creed, you're going to be into this. If not, if you're falling off the series, if you fell off the series, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah.
That's
nothing to see here. That's a move on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one, I guess we should talk about is Metro Exodus.
Okay.
So we've got different opinions on this one. So I'm going to say mine first.
Yeah.
Okay.
You and everybody else that was with us, apart from me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Metro. The Metro games, I've played through both of them a couple of times. Once like the original, and then once as like because they've been remastered in such a way.
Redux versions.
Yeah, Redux is the word they use, isn't it? It's not it's not a remaster as such. They've just go back in the game and add
tweak it a bit.
Yeah, new technology and new graphics systems that they didn't have in the first one. Like lighting and stuff like that. That just makes a nice difference. So I've played through. I'm a big fan of the series generally. I was really pleasantly surprised with this. I mean, I wasn't expecting... I don't know what I was expecting. I was just expecting another one. And when people say the word open to me in games now, I kind of think, oh, great, just like every other game. Except I really felt openness in this in a way that I hadn't done in the previous Metro games. Because the demo started off with us kind of in some marshland, kind of by a body of water, right? And then you kind of you turn around and you work inland, or so I did anyway.
Yeah.
And then it really is quite like free and open to like which direction you want to go and what you want to do. And there's cabins that you can go into. It's the apocalyptic vibe, being above ground this time, because obviously Metro takes place underground for most of it in the previous games. This was all above ground. And I think it was really cool. It was a really cool demo. It's kind of like this. The Fallout vibes were strong, but the shooting and stuff isn't like RPG shooting. It's FPS shooting. I think the environmental storytelling was really, really nice. There's a few details in there that are just horrifying, and there's like bodies just pinned up against walls and just with the word, I can't remember what it was. Rapist. Yeah, just the word rapist. And so, but you're in this house and there's nothing, there's no dialogue or anything, but you just get story from what you're looking at, which I absolutely love. That's one of my favourite things in games. And it nails that. And there was an encounter with one NPC really early on in the demo, which I thought was really cool because we treated it totally differently. Yeah. I cut him down. He was like tied up. Yeah. And there was like signs and stuff saying what he'd done, but I cut him down and I spoke to him, and there was a lot of dialogue. It was like Dark Souls dialogue where the longer you stand next to them, the more you get off him. And it's all one-way dialogue. It's all coming at you. You're not speaking to him. Yeah. But you guys handled that a bit differently.
I pistol whipped his face in till he was dead.
Yeah. And you didn't enjoy the demo, did you, Jake?
I didn't really, no. I didn't. This is the vibe I got from it. I'd be very happy with this game if I bought it for £16 and expected a 7 out of 10.
That's like the PlayStation 4 sale.
Exactly. Yeah.
Price point.
It's like, oh, PlayStation Plus discounts are on. Oh, this one, and I'm expecting a 7 out of 10, and I get this.
I reckon you'd get that after about a year.
That's exactly
worth the wait.
Yeah. And because it's single player, it'll do it. I mean, it had some really cool vibes to it, like you were saying about it being overground a lot. There were cabin systems that were optional. Like I know Liam, you explored a few as well.
I worked my way through, got like a few bonus little goodies, like some more ammo and some like crafting items that were just sort of like off the beaten track.
Yeah, exactly.
I looked into one of them and I went, I'll come back later, but I didn't.
It does really reward observation, like you were saying then about like people being like crucified, stuck to walls, and Liam saying about he found some items. The items, something we discussed when we were there, they don't glow or anything like that. They are like the body was crucified or whatever on a wall, with arrows, and you've got a crossbow, so you can just pluck the arrows off the body, and you wouldn't know that unless you went up to it. There's a lot of bits like that you have to really look. It definitely is a game, and it's a game that would really do well to not have a fucking timed demo, because we had like half an hour, and I was conscious that the first like 4 minutes was just a big like unskippable cutscene. So I just wanted to get as much done as possible, but I had a lot of problems with it. Technical problems, which won't be in release, I'm assuming, pop in. They had this thing where they put like this matte blur bokeh effect on the background, and that was supposed to be like related to draw distance, I guess. But then as I got closer to a building, it hadn't like popped in.
Yeah.
But rather than being popped out or disappeared, it was just full on blurry.
Some performance problems for you then.
Yeah, there's a lot about it I just didn't quite enjoy. It reminds me of like a PC game from 2003. Like this, if this came out at the same time as Half-Life 2, it would be hailed as a great. It's very much like that. Like it doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't reward people that are going to rush through it. I ran out of ammo because I'm a dickhead.
Oh,
straight
absolutely,
away.
yeah. The scarcity of resources, and I think it was on normal. Was there a difficulty choice? I don't
think we had a choice.
There was one demo we played where there was a selection.
Yeah. Okay then. Maybe.
But it might not have been this. But it was, the scarcity of ammo. If that is on like normal, which I hope it was, that's great because you had like a submachine gun filled with bullets, and I used it. I was in a situation quite early on. I was like, and I just hosed these these monster things, and I just completely like took out 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, I haven't got any submachine gun ammo now. And if I'd have handled that smarter, and if I'd have used my crossbow, if I'd have tried to go around them or something, I still would have a full clip of ammunition. But I've made the decision to just hose these monsters, and all my bullets are gone now. And it's another thing.
It's going to be a massive hit with loads of people. Like even now, I'm hearing all the stuff about it. It's a recipe. And if you're listening and you're one of these people, you already know who you are because you want a game where there's not buckets of ammo. You want a game where things aren't glowing. You want a game that reminds you of PC games from 15 years ago but done modern. There is a specific audience for people like that, and I'm not that. But there's a lot of I have a feeling it'll do very well on PC. It'll do very well with PC players, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm not really into this type of game. I don't really like the whole vibe of it. That whole Stalker, Shadow Chernobyl stuff. Yeah. Even Fallout to some extent. Not really into that. Like, that's got the 50s thing going on. But yeah,
there's a brightness to Fallout, isn't there?
Yeah, this is very
bleak,
mutant. Chernobyl stuff in it. Yeah. This is like something that
that's right. That's a good word.
It's like from that Netflix crap Dark Tour or something. It's like something he'd go in it.
Yeah,
that's it. So I don't know. I wasn't keen on all those things, but at the same time, they are strengths to a lot of people.
Yeah,
I'll be describing what I didn't like about the game. There'll be people listening going, "Yeah, that sounds good."
Well, me,
like everybody.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of the series, and I rated it as a demo big star. And the fact that Liam went through a cabin system that I did not even. I looked at it. Yeah. That should give you, if you're a Metro player, that should give you a sense as to how open this is. It's not.
It really is.
It's very expansive.
Yeah, and it's still got that thing of I think it was this game where you press the options thing, and it physically brings up a map. In the in-game, there's a physical map item that you're holding in your hand, like you've seen.
It's
in
the same if you go into like your crafting inventory. There's like the animation of swinging your bag around, going through it. And
so if you're being attacked by wolves and then you bring your map out, you're being attacked by wolves with your map out. You know what I mean? Some games aren't like that. They pause. The wolves pause, but in this, it's like
and there's a realism to it that isn't there to be, but it's not intended to be a simulator. I don't think at all. It's there to create horror and create tension and slow things down. And when you think, oh shit, there's wolves coming. Yeah, exactly. You can't pause the action. One thing that stood out to me was I jumped from what was a very small height, single-story building, from the roof onto the floor, which in any other game would be fine. In this, I think I broke both legs and died.
Yeah, it's
and there was a crackling and a noise. Yeah. Because that's probably what would happen if you jumped down from the story. You probably would, especially if you. But they haven't done that to make it a simulator. They've done that because to limit your options and to think, obviously, if you jump down, it will be a horrifying way to go. You need to climb down the ladder, you idiot. And that's how they control you and create that tension by animating things carefully and making sure that you've got, if there's gas masks, well, there's filters and the filters run out, so you need to keep topping up the filters and all that sort of stuff. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I was very positive on it as well.
So what do you want to talk about next, guys? We've got so many games here.
There's quite a few, so I guess.
I'll let you pick now, because I've just gone through 3 in a row, and we've spent... I mean, I guess they were some of the biggest, so we've spent a long time on them. But
Okay, well...
What do you want to do next, boys?
What about... Me and Liam could easily go through Nintendo's entire AAA things.
We got through pretty much all of them, right?
Yeah, so that is Pokemon Let's Go, Smash, and something else. Mario Party.
Mario Party, yeah.
And Dark Souls. But not Goose Game. So, first of all, we did Mario Party because it's like a nice 4-player thing. So, me...
You played with the Nintendo rep, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember playing with...
we all played that. We all
played it, but in different groups, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who I was bundled up with. I think it was with Kale and then 2 other people.
Yeah.
But so Mario Party, it was not the board game mode. We didn't get to see that. We just got to see the mini games.
Yeah.
And it was
like 5 of them, wasn't it?
That's it. And it was kind of some like mini tournament thing.
Yeah.
And it was just Mario Party, but in HD, and it was very cool. You know, there was a couple of things that used the Joy-Cons HD Rumble feature. One where you've got to cook some filet mignon.
A lot of motion control.
Yeah, just flipping steaks and that.
Crucially, you only need 1 Joy-Con each.
Yeah.
And all the games that we played were handled differently. There was like the controls for every single one. It's basically like 1 button and 1 movement or something like that.
Just like Mario Party Evolved, isn't it? It's never complicated.
No.
It's a perfect game by the looks of it to pick up for Christmas. There's lots of new features in this Mario Party that we didn't get to see, like the individual die and stuff that they all have.
Yeah.
So I can't speak much on that other than playing these mini games and just thought, this is just exactly what you expect. So if you think in your head what Mario Party is going to be on the Switch, it's that.
The variety was on point. I thought it was exactly the kind of range that you'd want. Did they tell you how many games are in the final thing? I can't remember.
No, but I think it's on the trailer. I think it mentioned.
They said it was quite high. It was like 80 above.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'm glad you said it. I was going to say 80, but I thought
I think you unlock some as well.
Yeah,
they normally will have that, and then
that's a lot of mini games, and they they were very replayable. Like there was a couple that I wanted to go again immediately to have another go of it.
I wanted to try that tricycle one again, just because I got it down, but I still lost.
Yeah, there's one where you just kind of do a sprint on a tricycle and you just have to move the Joy-Con in a kind of vaguely
in like a pedaling fashion.
That was a lot of fun.
I think the Nintendo Switch has been talking about this HD Rumble for ages, and I think this is the game that's really gonna.
It's going to be the first
bring
it's
it
going to
out.
Put all like those weird little Switch features to use, so right?
Yeah, absolutely. So all in all, by the way, this was like one of my most anticipated games for the year, right? And it was really good. It didn't disappoint.
No, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so we did that, and then we finally got to play Smash. Me and Liam against these 2 guys.
Just 2 randoms.
Against the world, baby.
It might as well have been,
It was like a free-for-all, wasn't it? But we were sort of like playing together secretly.
Exactly.
You know,
fuck those
a secret pact.
Fuck those guys.
Secret alliance.
The bros. So we were playing, and then we played 2 games.
We played 2.
Because I played as, I think Mario... No, I played as the Villager. And then Ryu. From Street Fighter.
Because I played as Snake and Bayonetta.
And the tryhards next to us were playing as Dark Link because they were taking it dead seriously.
Dark Link and Kirby,
They were the type of guys where we said, "You're right, lads, good luck," and they didn't reply, and then they didn't reply again, and then at the very end said GG in real life and then left. So Smash was just...
Is that real? Did that really happen?
That really
happened.
Why is it taking you till now to tell me this?
Because
I would have enjoyed that.
I know, you said GG. So anyway, but that was annoying. We played it. It was pretty good. It was one of them was like a remix of a map from Melee, I think, and I can't remember what the other map was, but it was okay. But this is the thing: the fact I can't remember a lot of it says. It didn't stand out to me.
You
really.
You didn't have an awful lot to say about it, both of you.
No,
that's what I remember.
To me, it just felt like I've never been like a die hard into Smash, so I can't really go in depth on the mechanics or anything. Yeah. But it just felt like Smash to me.
Okay, so let's move on then to Pokemon Let's Go.
The big one. This is the only one.
This is one of my most anticipated.
Tell us about it.
So the demo was very, very limited. And the queues were insane, up to 4 hours at one point.
Yep.
I heard the queue was, but it was a short little demo, like 5-10 minutes in Viridian Forest, and
from the days of old.
Yeah, from the days, and they let us play it with the little Pokeball motion controller they've got coming out the same day, and it was fun. The controller works very nicely. It feels very nice to use. And catching was quite a big feature of this demo, and it works pretty much exactly like it does in Pokemon Go. So if you've played that, catching will be instantly familiar to you.
Yeah.
Then I had a quick battle with a random trainer, and that was literally just like a Pokemon battle. Use your type advantage, and but it looks very nice. It looks like it's aimed at the broadest possible Pokemon audience.
Yeah,
it's trying to get Pokemon Go players into the series, I guess.
It's Liam's talked right. It's just like that. Like the Go mechanics are there, and the battle mechanics are just what you know.
Mm-hmm.
You level up from catching the Pokemon, don't you, as well?
Yeah, so they've brought that back over from XY Sun and Moon, where you catch Pokemon, you get XP. You get XP for pretty much anything. You catch Pokemon, you get XP. You battle, you get XP. They're very, liberal with the XP given out. Yeah.
But it's just like how Pokemon Red and that is. You've got your team of 6 and you can pick any Pokemon. You got a Pikachu or an Eevee, depending on which one you have. It sits on your shoulder, and then you can select any of the original 150 Pokemon. Only one of them, though, at a time. But you can pick any of them to follow behind you, and it's got a nice animation. So there was Charmander behind us.
I noticed some of that.
We had the Charmander.
I wondered what that was about.
But certain ones, like Onyx and that, you can ride it, or Lapras, you can ride it.
Oh yeah, right. And they've shown some of this off in trailers and stuff.
Yeah. But so just so you know, because I was curious, is that all the Pokemon? Can you have any one of the 150 behind you? And the answer is we were kind of told off for going into the menu. We weren't allowed to do that or whatever.
Yeah, it was very restricted for demo.
Yeah, to the point where Liam accidentally pressed the help button and they had to reset the console.
I accidentally broke the demo.
You're a loose cannon.
So it was very limited, but time on it was pretty enjoyable, and it's exactly what you imagine.
Okay, very good. The only Switch game I played in any real capacity was Diablo 3, which I flipping loved on it, to be honest. I was kind of looking forward to it, and I did play Diablo 3 a lot when it first came out, so I've not gone through any of the changes, and there's been so many updates. The game's very different to what it was at launch, on PC and stuff now. But I've not experienced it since launch, and to have a spin on it on a Switch was just, to think the first time I played it, I was sat on my mouse and keyboard, sat at my desk, playing it like that, having it on the Switch just makes so much sense. Played it co-op with just a few randoms, and it was a lot of fun. Very good silent co-op game. If you want to play some co-op but can't be asked talking, it's great. It was a lot of potential. I think it's going to go down well. I think it's going to be a big seller because it's a kind of experience where there's a lot of indies and stuff trying to shoot for that kind of thing. That Diablo experience, but this is the real deal, and this is
Diablo.
So this I think this is going to be a big seller, and I really enjoyed it. So that's all I've got to say about that. You guys played a bit of Dark Souls on the Switch.
Yeah, we had a quick go of it, and it was Dark Souls on the Switch. They dialed back a lot of the graphical stuff from the PS4, Xbox versions and remastered.
Did look pretty sharp though.
It did look very sharp on the Switch screen because we played it portable mode. And it looked very nice. It holds up well, like the art style and everything.
Yeah. It looks really nice condensed into that little screen. But like Liam's saying, texture stuff is been scrubbed out, I think.
They've had to dial it back a bit to get it running on the Switch, obviously. But we only got to play the Asylum Demon. They wouldn't we got to Firelink Shrine and they told us, right lads, got to go now. They wouldn't let us go any further.
So we were banned. So me and Liam got kicked out of the Nintendo. No, we didn't really. But it was good that the controls were shite though.
Yeah, the controls were a bit troublesome. I don't know whether it's just the different, the buttons, B and A, X and Y being swapped around.
Yeah.
But I kept trying to dodge and ended up drinking Estus instead. And I actually died to the Asylum Demon, which was, shameful of me.
Is that just because of the way Nintendo handles
the A and B? It's a Japanese way.
I wasn't sure whether it was that or just, the small size of the Joy-Cons was really messing me up.
Or playing it in a hot place full of strangers watching you and
people literally staring at you over your shoulder.
Okay then. So let's.
It was alright. Yeah, it was Dark Souls. Yeah, it'll be good, I reckon.
There's a couple more AAA games we haven't talked about yet. We'll just have a quick mention to Black Ops 4, which we had a quick spin of Team Deathmatch.
You've got a 5 kill death ratio.
I did. The PlayStation rep on the way out, he was like, "Who got that 5 KD?" And I was like, "Oh, it's me." He's like, "Yes, boy."
Liam,
I remember that. Yeah, he fell to his knees and he was like, "Oh, the chosen one. The chosen one is here." I remember that.
He did actually.
I got very cocky playing this.
Yeah, Liam was next to me and he was like, "Fucking Sylvester Stallone."
Yeah,
he was like, "Right, fuckers." And I was like, gee, it's not even breakfast time, Liam.
Yeah.
He was kicking ass.
I was still in the process of waking up. I think we tweeted a picture of us sat outside on some giant beanbags before we go.
They were really nice beanbags.
Yeah.
I mean, that was accurate as to how I actually was feeling. So I can barely remember the demo. To be honest,
it wasn't a battle royale mode. It was just regular mode on a new map. I didn't like it very much at all.
Felt exactly like COD.
So if you played the earlier multiplayer beta that came out before the Blackout beta, it was pretty much just that, but in a demo setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you played that, you know exactly what that demo was like. It was COD, few improvements, bit Overwatchy in some places with the hero skills.
Yeah.
But I thought it was okay, you know.
I give it 0 stars.
Okay, Ace Combat 7?
Yes, this was a big one for me as well. They had a 10-minute demo, and it was back to the Ace Combat formula everyone knows and loves, not Assault Horizon, which people really did not like. But they chose a very boring mission for a public demo. So
Ace Combat is a game about aeroplanes.
It is. It's a combat flight simulator. Not like a serious one. I love this series. I've been playing it since the PS2.
Yeah.
And PS1 even. Sorry. But this was good. And Ace Combat is made up of ground missions and air missions, but they only gave you like air-to-air planes, but put you on a ground mission. So it was really boring. It was just like strafing the ground. There wasn't like any dogfighting between jets. So I don't know. I liked it, but the demo could have chosen a
bad demo.
level.
Good game, bad demo.
Yeah, good game, bad demo. That's pretty much the best way to put it. But if you're a fan of like Ace Combat 4, 5, and 6, just so you know, if you like it, it's exactly like those games.
Okay. So, Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts I actually played 3 times, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So first time, me and Dan went to the PlayStation area, and we played it a bit there because the queues were shorter. But they kicked you off after 10 minutes, and the Toy Story demo I played was mostly cutscene. So I had like 6 minutes of cutscene, 4 minutes of gameplay, and then the PlayStation rep was like, sorry guys, gotta go. So I was like, oh. So I went back the next day and played it at the Square Enix booth, where they actually gave us like half an hour on the demo, where I actually got to play both. They had 2 demos. They had Olympus from Hercules and Toy Story. And I got to play both of them.
So Olympus is the one that we've seen already, like running up the...
So yeah, you're running up the walls with the giant rock titan, and it's got the big magical train you can summon and fireworks at him. That was really cool. Visually, the game is like spectacular.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It did look very nice.
It is,
I was looking over the shoulder, like I wasn't playing it, but it did look very good.
Yeah, it was and it plays a bit like Kingdom Hearts 2 with a bit of Birth by Sleep put in there for good measure. So if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you'll know what that means. But yeah.
Otherwise, no clue.
Big review.
And then the Toy Story section of the demo was probably my favourite because it looked amazing. It looks like a Pixar film, but, as a game.
Yeah, they are eye-catching visuals. Yeah.
There was a pirate ship summon that I got to do, which was cool, and that was really nice to look at. And then, I got to fight in the giant mech things in Al's toy barn, which was really cool. And that was fun, because that changed the combat up a bit to a bit like a third-person shooter type thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all just like mashing attacks, like RPG style. You got a bit of shooting in there as well.
If the world is going to pull from so many different universes, I mean, the fact that they're putting in gameplay variety in there feels like spot on. Like they need to be doing that, and that's really cool. Talking of gameplay variety, Dreams is one that I really enjoyed. It's probably my biggest surprise of the whole show, to be honest, because this is the game from Little Big Planet developers
Media Molecule.
Yeah. So Little Big Planet is a platformer where you make your own levels, but the level is incredible. It can
there's
be
already a story
creative.
baked in that they've made, the full story, and then when you play through that,
into Dreams now.
It's the same with Dreams.
You're talking about Little Big Planet?
Either one will apply. Right. There's a main story that you play through, and you're unlocking things constantly, assets from the level, to eventually make your own games. But unlike Little Big Planet, Dreams has got like this weird, like you can do text adventure in it and everything, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, Little Big Planet's got an aesthetic that you don't really move away from. It's got like the Sackboy PlayStation mascot kind of thing, and then that's what the whole world is kind of a variation of that to different degrees. And you got some nice Stephen Fry narration. Yeah, and Dreams is really like different. It's designed to be like make your own indie game almost. It feels like make your own kind of I was feeling I don't know if you guys ever played Trine, the
I did,
kind of 2.5D platformers. But I was feeling like at some points I was like, oh, this is a lot like Trine, and then the demo that we got was like, apparently the rep said it was just something that the PlayStation team programmers were told, just make anything, and they were given like 48 hours or 24 hours or something like that to just or overnight, I think he said actually, to just make a demo for EGX. So the idea was that we all had different experiences to what everyone else had, and they were just like completely different. They were like, so there was a text adventure, there was a space shooter thing that was kind of like piloting a ship through
like
space,
fully 3D as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you had there was a cockpit view and the third person view, which was ace. There was like a bullet hell shooter type thing.
Yeah.
There was, what else was there? There was the baked in story platform bit.
Yeah, there was that little Please Hug Me game, which is
my
standout.
Yeah.
How unlike usually sad it was.
It was amazing. It was
just a cry for help.
It was
for our 24 hours like that. He was trying to get some help.
It was like a 30-second experience.
Yeah.
Where you're a square and there's a crowd of like,
like
triangle, kind of circular triangle
fellow
type
shapes.
Yeah, they were just backing away from you.
Yeah,
and you were kind of walking towards them with your arms out, wanting
and
a
they
hug.
were like falling off of the edge of the world.
Yeah,
and literally rather die than hug you.
Exactly, they were backing away from you in fear.
It just faded to black when they all fall off,
and it was just
boots you back to the menu.
That's the first one I played.
Powerful stuff.
Oh, okay.
I played that one, and that was my standout.
Yeah, that was a big one.
It was really good. When it comes to like music and stuff like that, electronic music, because a lot of people making music, I guess we're kind of younger in 2000. Music 2000 for the PlayStation is cited for loads of big DJs and producers, like Tiesto and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Big people. I wonder if in 20 years' time we'll see game developers saying Dreams was my first one. It seems like it's going to be like that.
It certainly seems to be shooting for that.
Yeah, and I feel it will. The baked in story thing with like the Hollow Knight vibes with like insect stuff.
Really nice.
Really good. I was really surprised at that because the trailers are overly vague, and I know you can't pin it down.
Yeah.
But you have to play it to understand it. So hopefully you can find an opportunity to play it, and I hope they put a demo out because it's so hard to explain. It's so hard to get a vibe from it from Twitter and YouTube and all that. But if you get a chance to play it, this is definitely one to play because you'll understand it immediately. And everybody that we were with left saying, "Oh God, I didn't expect this to be that good." So,
it was really good. I think the surprises were really got me. I kind of had one eye on it because I did kind of like the Little Big Planet, and I always like the idea of a game maker. I always like the idea of something that is just like a toolkit for other people to just make games out of. Which is really an exciting idea. But this is pretty exciting. I think this could be pretty big actually. I think it's if it's going to be a critical success or not, I think it's because it's so different. I don't know how critics are actually going to handle it, but I am feeling positivity about this big style, and I think it might really pick up some. I hope people take it and run with it and come up with some cool ideas. In terms of other big games, I don't know what else there is to.
I played Life is Strange. I guess only I played it, right?
Yeah. You did, yeah.
Okay, so Life is Strange 2 demo was a little bit different than Captain Spirit, which was like the little prequel to it that everybody got. You didn't see the same characters or whatever. You played as, I can't remember his name, but your character has got a brother called Daniel, and your dad, and your family of Latin Americans, I guess. I think they were Mexican, and this plays into it. Why is it relevant? Well, I don't know what I should say, but the end of it got pretty deep. It was like a regular everyday thing. The thing that was weird was that it's a huge, powerful moment, but it's quite a lot of busy work. Like Life is Strange, you can spend all time looking at shelves and CD collections, and then your main character gives quirky teenage narration to it, like, maybe I should put these CDs back, or when's Dad ever going to get rid of this junk? How quirky. That sort of stuff. Do you know what I'm on about? And it's full of shit like that. And then it just escalates. And what happened was, loads of people, all the people next to me, I was in a row of 6, all got kicked out after half an hour. And we were all really close to this big moment happening. But I was just saying, if this is going to be a big, powerful moment, and I'm about to get kicked out, this is stupid because I want to talk about it. And then they were like, all right, well, you can stay then. So I had to pause it while all the new people were coming in. Unpaused it, and this big event happens, and I'm like, oh my fucking Do you know what I mean? It's not nice. It's emotionally powerful. It's trying to go somewhere political with it, I think, which is going to piss people off probably, but who fucking cares, man? It was good. A lot of death is surrounded the whole Life is Strange thing. Captain Spirit is the story of some kid getting used to his mum dying.
Yeah.
This one's different. It also, like Captain Spirit, ends with a kid finding out that he's got powers, but it's a completely different kid than Captain Spirit. So I wonder if these are the two main characters, like Max and Chloe, or if there's going to be lots of different kids with powers.
It's going to be the Avengers.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
universe.
there was a guy with an eye patch in the background. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens because this wasn't a prequel. This was the main game.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's going to get sent over to like fucking the school for gifted mutants or whatever. But it was very interesting. I'm definitely.
It's just the X-Men game in hiding, isn't it?
It's the X-Men prequel. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be interested at that point. So Life is Strange is obviously a very narrative-based
adventure.
Make choices, look at things, pick things up, talk, walk.
Be edgy.
Yeah.
Be a teenager.
It's one of them games.
Mm-hmm. Is this a segue?
No.
Oh.
And the last... there's a few... we haven't really spoken about any of the indie games that we played.
Okay.
I played Total War 3 Kingdoms and I really liked it. That's what you need to know. I mean, it's Total War, big strategy games. Yeah. The setting I liked. The demo was pretty
Graphics
short.
Nice.
Graphics, well, I don't know. It did from a distance. When you zoomed in, they'd clearly optimized the demo for performance. So the character models were a bit crap, but I think that was, they just wanted it to run nicely.
Yeah. The color palette was nice. Maybe that's what I meant.
Yeah, no, it did look cool, and I did like the way it kind of handled. And I'm into it, but it's Total War, so I'd be into it anyway. Mm-hmm. And then Starlink is the last kind of big-ish type game that I played. Yeah. So this is the game that people think, oh, that looks like No Man's Sky. It's not really. It's not like No Man's Sky. It's not. So this is kind of a
Toys to Life Ubisoft game.
This. Toys to Life is actually a huge part of it. I didn't realize how big it was, but the demo that we got. So you had a controller. You had like the bracket thing on the controller for the Toys to Life. So you literally put the toys on the controller, and then it's like you build the spaceship. So you put like a pilot in, and then you put a body on the pilot, like, of the ship on top of the pilot, and then you put the wings on, and then you put the weapons on, and it's like it is heavily aimed at it's a Toys to Life game. So if
you have to have the ship on the controller at all times.
Well, we did at the demo, and it was kind of like a clamp over the middle of the controller.
That seems a bit awkward.
It was very light, and I wasn't thinking about it once it's there, and it's kind of elevated off your hands. So unless you're playing under the table or something, I can't see it being a problem. I think it's just quite a very lightweight sort of game. Like it's a lot of just flying and shooting, and there's not really any meat beneath that I could see. It's not a procedural universe. I think the rep told me it was like 9 planets or something like that. But it was like it's not No Man's Sky basically. A lot of people looked at this, saw the art style, saw the ship style, saw the planet kind of and thought, oh look, it's a No Man's Sky thing, but with Toys to Life.
Yeah.
Very different game. It is very much for the Toys to Life audience. It's, I don't want to say it's for kids, but I mean it's that kind of if you're into Toys to Life stuff, you're into this. This might be a good one to play with your kids or something like that. But it fell off my radar quite quickly after playing it. And then so let's talk about some indie games because we've been talking about AAA games for about 3/4 of an hour.
Yeah, they're the big event, I guess. The indie games. It's weird though because both indie games that I played and enjoyed. Well, actually, no, I played a bit more, but Disco Elysium's a standout indie 100%. Game. So you've probably see some more stuff about that on the channel soon, I guess, because we were speaking to the devs quite a lot. That's like a CRPG, isometric RPG, but you play as a detective, and depending on the way you play it pretty early on, you can go down the good cop role or the bad cop role. It's a lot of detective work.
It sounds generic as hell, and that's what I thought. But I played it, and it's the writing in it is. I mean, this is the thing where I'm such an arsehole, because when people say, "Oh, it's got the best writing you have ever seen," and I immediately go, "Does it though?" but it does have very good writing. I have to say.
Well, we spoke to the guy who was working on it, and he's originally a novelist, so you can tell.
You can totally tell that. It's got a bit of a risky opening, I thought. I don't know if the game actually opens like that, but the demo opens like that. I don't see why it wouldn't, but it felt like
I think that's the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
he said
it starts with just kind of blackness and really like David Lynch style kind of dialogue that's really off the wall, and the decisions are kind of in the dialogue that you have to make just leads to more confusion.
Very celestial, very existential.
Yeah.
All the big words. Very Twin Peaks. It is very Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
They cited that as an influence as well as True Detective. Do you know what I figured of a nice way of describing this? It was like if, ready for this? Pillars of Eternity was written. No, it was if Broken Sword was done like Pillars of Eternity. That's what it's got. It's got a very Broken Sword beginning.
Yeah.
The plot, the writing style, no, but the plot of it is someone's murdered and you go in and
the gameplay is clicking stuff like an isometric RPG, like a CRPG.
Yeah, and then you got. I didn't do any combat, but
no. But in terms of, like, you're walking around, the way the dialogue, interacting with the scene.
Yeah. It's very much like a point and click adventure, but you've still got that RPG thing. It's cool. It's very, very cool. I spoke to him a little bit more about the way the world works, it being open world, but not in a boring way. It's one instance. The whole game is one giant map with no load screens, rather than I don't think any other CRPG's ever done that. So.
I did quite like the way they kind of dial up the NPC interaction as well. So you speak to, right at the beginning, you speak to a barman, and he kind of fobs you off, and then you just walk. Yeah. You do some other stuff.
It's because he's the cafe manager, right?
Yeah, right. And you speak to someone else, and then they're like, "Well, go speak to the manager." And you say, "Well, I tried speaking to the manager, and he fobbed me off." And he's like, "No, let's go speak to the manager." And then both of you go back to the other NPC, and then that's. That is in the world. It's not like it doesn't cut to a conversation with the manager, or it doesn't send you back and forth between the two NPCs. The other NPC comes with you to speak to the manager, which is such a tiny little thing, but it's that kind of that level of detail is really good. And if you're going to be a kind of CRPG game, but like there's no combat or anything, so it's to speak of the eyesore anyway. I don't know if there's going to be combat in it, but
I think there is. Going to be like altercations at least, because did you make your own character or did you use a preset? Because you can put when you make your own character, like the stats imply that there's going to be combat and stuff like that,
right.
It was really good. It's a weird sell because you have to play it to really get a feel for it. I watched the trailers before I went because I heard it was going to be good. And I watched the trailers, and it's like, it's got this art style. It's weird, like oil painting.
It's really good.
It's very, that's the only thing I was really gathering, and I was like, it's going to be a bit weird. But you play it, and
it's quite unsettling, actually, isn't it? The opening, anyway, is quite unsettling, and you kind of like this alcoholic type thing, and the way it wakes up from that celestial gloop bit to you being, you kind of feel like, well, maybe you're just having a really bad drugs trip and hangover. Yeah. And that is what you're dreaming, or
this is what you're saying here.
And the music
does not sound out of place in True Detective season 1, Rust and Coal, right?
Yeah.
So that's the vibe that they've definitely gone for.
And you wake up in this apartment where there's like the mattress is kind of half on the floor and shit like that, no bed sheets and shit, and it's just like an absolute pit stain of a place. But that was really good. It was a really good, really good game. Another indie game that we played was. Well, is it indie Beyond Blue? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's independently developed by Eli Media. It's in collaboration with the BBC. So
that's why I asked.
They just got in touch with them because so this is the people that made Never Alone, the game about that little girl and the fox spirit animal game that you might have seen, side-scrolling thing. That focused on the magic of reality. That's something that they've been saying a lot. Like the real world's got plenty of folklore, plenty of awesome things in it, and it's quite wondrous. So I think that's what he said, wondrous. Can't remember, I'm just trying to quote him here. Spoke to the guy, Michael, lovely guy, telling me about all this mad stuff, and I was just like, Michael, I want to play your game. So I played the game, and it's like Absu on steroids. It's like an underwater exploration game. It's 3D, great graphics.
Yeah.
You'll sort of navigate.
Great graphics is no joke, because it's like it's not like technically very good graphics. It's kind of like if you're a diver underwater and you're swimming around and you pan the camera up and it's like a pod of whales or whatever.
Yeah,
is it a pod? I don't know. But it just looks like Blue Planet footage because of the way it's lit and the way the acid. I'm pretty sure they use that telegrammetry thing where they take really high-res photos of real world stuff and apply it to the environment.
It could very much be that. I know that they've I know what the specific collaboration is, and I don't know how much of this has been said before, but I know I'm okay to say it. It's just like Never Alone. You doing things like scanning these animals over time gives you never seen before footage from Blue Planet.
Yeah,
that's cool. So the pods of whales, like if you scan a lot of them, you understand their mating behaviours, their eating behaviours, and then eventually you can just click and watch little documentaries on them.
Yeah. It's a bit educational.
So yeah, just like Never Alone, it's got scenes of that. It's really, really good. And the
story driven, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a story. Yeah, we didn't see that much of it. It was very Firewatch. Go and collect this. Go and collect that from somebody.
Well, when I say story driven, it's not just like it's not a game that just dumps you in the water and explore. Yeah. It says you need to go over here and do it, and there's constant dialogue.
Yeah.
And you're updating some command center with like, oh, I'm just swimming over here to do this, and they say, oh, the beacon is broken. Go and fix the beacon. It's that kind of stuff. But there is obviously you're underwater in a big open expanse, so you've got room to maneuver a little bit and see what's going on.
Yeah. It was really good. It stood out for me a lot. So,
yeah. It was a nice game. Any indie games that stood out for you, Liam?
So Catastronauts was the one I had the most fun on, which was, I don't know, do you want to speak about that, I guess?
Catastronauts, it's the Overcooked game, but we don't call it Overcooked, basically, because it was in space.
It's kind of like
it's Overcooked in FTL, isn't it?
Yeah, the rep even described it as a bit Overcooked, a bit FTL. And I was like, oh,
I didn't hear that, actually, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, we played it, 4 of us, right? And it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you'll see from the graphical style where Overcooked comparisons keep coming from. It's not online co-op. It's only couch co-op.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much that. Yeah, you fit. It's kind of like Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. One of you is manning the guns. The other one's doing other stuff.
It's got the major Overcooked vibe of everyone. You need to cooperate to succeed.
Yeah, and you need the fire extinguisher.
You need a fire extinguisher. You have to repair things, and the FTL comparison is obviously it is in space.
Yeah.
But you've got to fire guns. You've got to charge the guns. You've got to repair the guns when they're damaged.
So each level is you and another like NPC ship facing off against each other.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got to manage your ship whilst trying to destroy the other one.
Yeah.
It
was very, very enjoyable.
It's cool.
A small time game, but it's going to be out by the time this podcast goes out, right? It's like a week away. Oh no, this Friday it is.
Right.
And so I guess that's one of the games coming up this week or whatever.
Yeah.
But that
was really fun.
It was a lot of fun, and we weren't expecting it really. I don't know how we ended up playing it, but we played it 4-player, and it was great.
I'm glad we did. It was a great little game. And lastly, for me, really, is Phoenix Point. Is it even called Phoenix Point?
Yeah.
It's XCOM.
It is.
It's XCOM basically, but it's proper XCOM because
from the guy who made XCOM.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's proper XCOM. I flipping love the new XCOM games, but there's it's the guy from the original XCOM titles from like way back in the olden days. There's a game called Phoenix Point, and it is very similar to the point where people are walking past going, "That is XCOM."
Yeah.
Arguing about whether or not it's XCOM. Someone saying it's an expansion called XCOM Phoenix Point. Like, and I because I had one ear on my headphones, and it was very close to XCOM, but it was pretty difficult, and the demo was like you had a team of like 6, and then you go into this facility, and then you do your objective in the facility, take out the aliens, but then reinforcements come in the form of like an enormous tank type thing, and it just kind of felt like a different layer of tactics almost. Like it felt like it was a little bit more hardcore in some very minor but important ways. And if you're a fan of XCOM but thought maybe it could do with having a HUD change and
facelift.
If you're the kind of player who installs a lot of mods on XCOM to try and make it more difficult and whatever, it's perfect for you. I think it works for me as a big fan of XCOM, but I would never call myself a hardcore player of anything really. But of XCOM, I'd never call myself a hardcore player, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely going to take a closer look at it now that I've played it. I wasn't that bothered about it. I just wanted to spin on it.
I think you're who they have in mind for it.
I would imagine so. And there's some nice features in there that I thought were different. They don't give you the percentage, unless I missed something. They don't give you the percentage chance of success when you shoot. So when
I didn't see it.
No. And what it does differently is in XCOM, if you fire a burst, either the entire burst hits or the entire burst misses. In Phoenix Point, you can fire like you'll just click attack once. Your guy will shoot 3 bullets. Maybe one of them hits, but the other 2 miss. So it kind of gives you per bullet chance of success. Yeah. So there's like a grade of success. So it's not just yes or no. It's like 2 bullets hit, 1 of them missed, or 1 bullet hit, or all of them hit. It gives you, and obviously the range and everything, and the cover that you're using plays into all of that. I was pretty impressed with it. I did enjoy it, and that was kind of my last pick of it. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about from games that you played?
We played a bit of Soul Calibur 6. That was just like a sort of like they had a bunch of TVs and consoles set up, and that was just like a grab a seat when you can type of game.
I always forget how big a following fighting games have.
Yeah,
because people the biggest crowds were for the fighting games,
and they only had like 8 consoles set up for it. Yeah, but that was like we played a match, didn't we, Mike?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
And it was fun. It was like I haven't played a Soul Calibur game for years, but it felt like Soul Calibur to me.
Yeah,
there's a lot more stuff like special moves and guarding involved.
Yeah,
because I haven't played it so long.
That's one thing that was very noticeable. The amount of cutscene-y type. They straight taken the
loads of them.
Yeah, it's from like Mortal Kombat, and I think what's the DC.
Injustice,
yeah, where you press like R2, but you've built up a bar.
Lots of elaborate attacks.
Yeah, so that was it. That was everything that we played. We had a very nice time though, didn't we?
Yeah, there's probably going to be more games surfacing to talk about when we can remember. And the thing is, all these games are going to be released over the next 6 months. So when they do come out, we'll have stuff to say about them all over again.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, I was envisioning this podcast would be like, if anyone's ever listened to Komodo Mayo film review, which is amazing, by the way. If you've ever watched a film, you should listen to it. But they kind of just review a lot of films in one podcast, so I was kind of thinking, it'll be fine, we'll just chuck loads of games in and then talk about each one for about 3 or 4 minutes. Hopefully it worked. I don't know, I haven't listened to it yet, but hopefully it wasn't.
The only game we didn't really get to play was Spyro, and that's because the queue was just insane.
Yeah, that's a true story. Yeah, the Spyro queue was always massive, and we just kind of didn't bother. So that I guess you're totally right. That's the only kind of disappointing for me.
Hitman 2 I wanted to play and didn't, and they're the only 2 I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, every other big game we had to smash out.
We got through a lot. So
even Black Ops.
We've got some first-hand knowledge of a lot of games that are coming out over the next 12 months. Hopefully we can make use of that on the channel. And so before we finish the podcast, then let's do this week's new releases. So it is quite a busy week, actually. As always, loads of games coming to the Nintendo Switch on the 25th, which is the Tuesday, which is
tomorrow. Probably, but if you listen to this on time.
Yep.
We've got South Park: The Stick of Truth coming to the Switch, which is the better of the 2 South Park games, if you ask me. Obsidian had a hand in making that game, and it's a good.
Is that the first one?
Yeah, and it's all like fantasy tropes and fantasy RPG type stuff, and it was quite a cool game. Also, This Is the Police 2 is coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, and that's already been out on the PC for a little while, and we've played that and talked about that.
Originally cited for the end of December, that was, so they've bumped that up.
Brought that one up, which, if you're a big fan of long dialogue cutscenes like that's the kind of pacing you can expect from This Is the Police 2.
If that didn't sell it yet, that's pretty much what it's like.
That's the pace of the dialogue there. We've got Valkyria Chronicles 4 coming to PC, the Switch, PS4 and Xbox One as well. It's a tactical RPG.
Like
Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so Valkyria Chronicles is like a sort of third-person, real-time tactics hybrid type game.
Is this the game yet? With like the weird...
it's like an oil-painted...
sepia border thing around it.
Yeah, that's the one. Made by Sega, it is.
Yeah, it looks good in screenshots.
Yeah.
But the game...
It's a pretty cool game. It's a bit of a slept-on game, really. The first one was, anyway, until it came to like PC a few years ago. But this one is meant to be like one of the series... Like, there's 4 or 5 games in the series, like one spin-off or whatever.
Yeah.
And this one is apparently, from the reviews, meant to be one of the best, if not the best one.
Yeah.
So things are very positive about it so far.
There you go. So that's coming out tomorrow as well, so you can look forward to that. There's a few other games, but one that we really should talk about is The Walking Dead, the final season, episode 2. Suffer the final
episode.
Or episode last one. So that's coming out on September the 25th as well, so that's tomorrow. That's on PC, PS4,
and that will
Xbox
be
One.
the last Walking Dead episode but it wasn't written with that in mind.
No.
So it's going to end on
it's like
a cliffhanger.
It's like
a lot
a
of
TV
unresolved
series.
questions.
This is the. I mean, the thing was envisioned. It's quite fitting, really, because the creatively speaking, because the games were pitched as a TV series sold in seasons.
Yep.
And you get 5 episodes rather than one big thing, and this whole TV thing, and it's ended like many TV series do.
It'll probably end better than the actual Walking Dead TV show will, to be honest.
That'll just stop when the last crew member goes, I can't be arsed holding this light anymore. I'm out.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of the thing. So yeah, that's the sad situation with Telltale Games that they've closed down. Essentially closed down anyway. There's a small crew of about, I think, was it 25?
It's 25 out of 250 to finish like the Netflix project that they're working on, which I still don't know if we know what that is.
I think it was Minecraft Story Mode, but just for Netflix.
And that's probably only because they've been tied into that contractually, and there's guaranteed money from Netflix to pay for that to be made, kind of thing. But otherwise, the studio is ceasing to exist, I suppose, and it's quite a sad state of affairs. I mean, Telltale Games is a studio that made those Telltale games. What I mean by that is they essentially got a genre named after their own studio.
They kind of pioneered for sort of like choice-based narrative adventure thing.
I mean, it's always going to be Telltale Games in my mind. Whenever you talk about Life is Strange or any of the ones that I actually like
their genre.
Dawn, it's Telltale Games, isn't it? It's kind of like Telltale Games, and it really is genre defining. They've left a huge mark on the industry. The fact that 200 of them are now out of work, and apparently there's this story floating on Twitter and stuff about them not getting redundancy pay and stuff like that properly.
Well, that's what everyone's saying.
Yeah.
So it's a hell of a story if it's not true.
Yeah,
because nearly 200 people are saying the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But and it's going crazy. The games industry has been working together to try and get them jobs. Ubisoft, EA, all that are offering.
It's a lot of like outpouring of support.
And that's great. But it's weird though because this is a situation that will be remembered forever, and it's a shame because The Walking Dead, in my opinion, really kickstarted their popularity because they did Sam and Max beforehand, but The Walking Dead was the one everyone was talking about.
There's a couple of others, wasn't there? Wasn't there like Jurassic Park?
Back to the Future.
That's it. Yeah. They were all in a Humble Bundle years ago, but when that came out, that was the one that was winning awards on the iPad.
That is when they defined the genre. Really, they were creating the genre with the other games. Walking Dead, that was that's where all the criticisms are coming from over the previous few years. Like they hadn't moved the engine on at all. Everyone knew they were still working on the same flipping engine, and the fact that those people managed to make games, later on, despite everything, despite the challenges they were working against, and managed to make games that still sold really well and still got people loving them. And I played like Tales from the Borderlands all the way through, and it was just, I don't know why I did it, but I enjoyed a lot of things about it. So.
I played the first Batman series through not too long ago, and I had a good time with that.
Which they gave away on...
it was on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, so it's a sad story, but I'm very confident that they will get work, because there's a lot of people...
There's a lot of talent.
Clementine's story, like loads of people at least played the first season.
Yeah.
No one knows how that ends now.
Yeah.
Really, really... going to be one of those big moments. And that's like, what's that space one that you guys like? Fucking Firefly or whatever. It's like that. It's like that.
You be careful.
Well, at least Firefly got a movie.
Respect to him and all that. You respect him and all that.
What's that space one?
Sorry, lads. But you know what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to have a cult following forever now.
Yeah.
And it's unfairly taken away. So, but yeah, if you want to, I don't know, it'll probably end on a cliffhanger, but if you want to put yourself through that, it's available when? What day?
It's tomorrow, 25th of September, so that's the Tuesday. So then...
What if you ordered the season pass, by the way?
Very good question. Probably nothing.
I think you just like shit out of luck.
If the staff didn't get redundancy pay, I doubt you're getting, I don't know you're getting the season pass.
You're not getting a refund, probably.
Yeah, so who knows? And then there's another episodic story thing starting with Life is Strange.
No, this is a segue. Is that what it is?
That's it, yeah. That's on the 27th. That's on PC, PS4 and Xbox One, so there's going to be a few people looking forward to that. Are you going to get that day one, Jake? Are you going to get on
day one? Yeah. Because the thing about those games is they are heavily reliant on a story. And another thing about that game is people that like Twitter like it. Yeah. And they love to post GIFs. Or just saying stuff like, well, I don't know, what is it the people on Twitter say now? Like, this ending sent me or whatever fucking. There'll be loads of that, wouldn't there? There'll be loads of people saying like, oh my god, you won't believe what happened. And I don't want to...
If you're worried about that, you should do what I do and just not like it.
What, not like the game?
Yeah.
I'm too far in, and I played that demo, so I'm already a bit invested. That's the thing, like I'm saying, I want to know what happens now. I do.
I've only played Captain Spirit. I've not actually played the first Life is Strange yet. I have it, but if I do get it, it'll be like until all the episodes are out.
It's a bit edgy, but it's well worth it. But yeah, I'll get that day one then, so hopefully next podcast you can hear me ramble on about that a little bit more.
And on the Friday, which is the 28th, we've got Dragon Ball Fighter Z on the Nintendo Switch, which is the Dragon Ball.
It's the Dragon Ball Fighter game,
Z game,
which done quite well, I think.
It's doing well, yeah. I've heard good things about it.
Lots of tournaments already around it. Like a proper scene has formed around that game already.
And then FIFA 19, which is coming on PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, of course, because it's a FIFA game.
Because it's like obligated to
kick it in the goal. Kick it in the goal. So that's all the games that are coming out this week. And that is our EGX special podcast finished. Hopefully it was something for you. Hopefully you enjoyed listening to it. Hopefully it wasn't as much of a mess as I'm worried it might be. But it was good to talk about all those games.
This many games. It's like this is the thing. I'm pretty confident. If there was a scoreboard for people who played what the most biggest games are, what games this is, in the past 2 days, we'd be up there, boy. We played so many big games. It's hard to remember.
I like that you've just invented a scoreboard and said we'd probably be at the top of it.
Yeah. If there was a list of the top 10 Jake Kulkowskis in North Wales, I'd be number one.
I'd be up there, mate.
But I swear we forgot something. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's so many. But the thing is, we've that's the reality. We played tons and tons of games, and the whole point was so that we actually know what we're talking about when we're talking about stuff in the future, and we really made good use of our time there. That's Jake's baby. What a great place to leave it, I guess. Thanks everyone for listening to the Special Moves podcast. This is the first time it's been on Spotify. Hopefully you can listen to it there. I've been Mike Williams, and these guys were Jake Kulkowski, Liam McKelvey, and the baby. See you next time.
Bye.